Thanks everybody for coming in. Welcome back to the channel. We're back this week, and today's live is going to be, also a lot of guys come into this space because they see it's like learning pickup and hookup culture, how to optimize your online dating, 3 easy ways to get it from text to bed, and how to date and meet women, very superficial, very shallow things, which I got to tell you, that's the easy part. But I can tell you this also, that every man that's ever come to me for guidance, for a solution, they all have one thing in common. And this is a lot of men that I found in this space, people that I know that are on the outskirts of this, associated with, and people I've dealt with personally, other coaches that I'm very close with. We all agree on this same sentiment, is that there is an element of guys, of being a man, that you do want to go explore. You want to know how to develop this natural charismatic rapport to be able to attract women and date and have a good experience with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's really not. And what's being overlooked and under talked about, in my opinion, is what does that mean? Because I'm gonna tell you this: the meeting chicks and getting laid part, that's easy. You could work with me for 3-4 weeks and I'll have you meeting girls left and right, more than you ever thought. That's the simple part. And the times have changed so much, and what's going on through societal programming, the pull and the misuse of masculine and feminine, and how, honestly, the West is put us in a gender war, so to speak. Maybe that's overstatement, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it's accurate that it's a gender war. They're telling women, go get your degree. Don't worry about being a mom. Go pursue that career, girl. Freeze your eggs. Go run through a bunch of dudes. And guys, get in touch with your feelings. Praise thy lady. Tell her how you feel. Express your emotions. It's twisted. It's backwards. We're seeing a huge effect now with this younger generation coming up, and even the 20-somethings. You see all the women are like, what the fuck is going on out there? But you have online dating, social media, these universities that just absolutely obliterate any tradition and what traditional values used to be. And everywhere in society is telling these people this is what they need to do, and this is the way to go. And doing that silly shit, they're trying to feminize men and masculinize, I don't know, is that a word? Women. They're telling women take charge and take the lead of your life, and guy, you need to soften up, and it's okay to cry in front of her, and it's okay to tell how you feel and communicate, express yourself, and all this other nonsense. And I'm not saying it's not a place of healthy communication in a relationship. That's not what I'm saying. But the way they mean it is to reverse the gender role and put the other role into the other gender's lap. And it's not natural, and it affects society as a whole, because you see the breakdown of the family unit, the traditional family unit, the mother, father, children, everybody in the home. There's a lot of this is the most single parent households in history. And, we see a rise in crime. You see a rise in mental health problems, incomes dropping, IQ going down. We're lowering the standards for everybody, so everybody can be equal, so everybody gets a trophy, that kind of mentality. And it's having an extremely negative effect on society. The easiest that I've ever experienced in my lifetime for guys to go out and hook up. Chicks are more willing. They've been programmed that that's okay. Go sleep around, go hoe around for your 20s, and then get your career. When you're ready, you settle down, get you a nice, strong guy, and that's polluted and warped. Gotcha, brother. Thank you. And it's warped young men and young women's minds. It's screwed everything up, and that system is designed like that on purpose. We're not going to get into that. So the show is about, how does the hookup and pickup type culture, the hit it, quit it type culture, how does that translate into long-term relationships? And is it tangible? Is it feasible to think that that is going to bring about a healthy long-term relationship, which, I've learned that's most men want that. Most men, including myself, want to be a father, want to be a husband, want the godly duty to lead a family, lead a household, provide, protect, lead, and go out there and hunt the meat and fight the wars for the family, so to speak. And with this culture today, a lot of guys come looking for how to get good with women. 10 easy ways to text her right. 10 easy ways to meet women. And what you'd see is a lot of these PUAs, pickup artists from back in the day. And look, that's part of it. That is a valuable skill that any man can learn. You're inherently born with everything you need to be a successful, strong, masculine leader in your own life, in your family, your wife and children. It's covered up. And, and this is part of the whole mental illness, the anxiety, the depression, the ADD, all these new symptoms, there's new diagnoses that pop up daily. Like it seems like there's always some new social anxiety, this phobia, that phobia. Like it's always something that they create to keep people sick and mentally unwell. And what it is a lack of connection and depth with who we are at our core. And I can tell you that going against the grain, the natural order of things, the way God and nature intended, you'll never be well. There will always be, and everybody I've ever coached, men I've talked to, men I talk to regularly who've had some sort of transformation in their lives have always had that little voice in the back of their head, including myself. Something's off. Something is off. And it is, because we're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to be, as a man, you're not supposed to be constantly emoting to a woman, especially the woman in whose life you're in, who looks up to you to lead for safety and security. That's not her position to hear that. It's not her position to bear the burden of your woes. It's just not. That's what you have, a strong group of men, like-minded men, who are there to help each other and guide each other. And a lot of people, unless you've grown up, which is a very rare thing these days, in a healthy, well-run family with a masculine father, a feminine mother figure who is at home, and you've been exposed to that and around that from the time you were born, because your identity, your core beliefs, your subconscious view of yourself is formed between 0 and 7 years old. And if you didn't grow up in that and being praised and seeing what a masculine figure looks like and a feminine figure looks like, and the complementary differences and how that polarization between the two actually form a healthy, strong environment for everybody in it, more so the children than anybody. If you haven't experienced that, you're going to get drugged along with the narrative, which is what you learn in the public school, seeing on TV, what's force-fed through the media, what you're hearing on the radio, what you're seeing on YouTube, what you're seeing on social media, and that's not good. It's not good. And part of that is why I'm here in this space, because I was that. I grew up with a single mom. I didn't know what a strong male leader did day in and day out, and how they thought, and the things you're supposed to do as a strong masculine figure in your family's life. And it came back to bite me in the ass. It really did, in more ways than one. But this is about relationships, so we'll keep it there. And it did. It did.